Ladies and gentlemen, it was only when looking through my logbook that I realised that I've known Ernst for 40 odd years, over 40 odd years. And we first came across each other in the early 80s, when we were both returned to maritime, Ernie from his brief diversion into 51 Squadron, and I was returning from a 5-year instructional tour at Cranwell. But it wasn't until about 3 or 4 years later, when I joined the OCU, and Ernst was on already, that I got to know the real Ernie Banfield, the man, the legend. Now, I feel nowadays that words like legend and wow and cool are far too well used. But then I looked in the dictionary, and a legend is a man who, or a woman, who is very famous and admired by a lot of people. And I thought Ernie Banfield was a legend, without a doubt. And then I started looking at the professional pilots, peak room, shortly after Ernie passed away. And there was one word that came out there, almost without exception, and that was gentleman. It's been mentioned on a couple of occasions already this afternoon, and the definition of a gentleman is a man of good and courteous conduct. That's Ernie Banfield. He's left us with a legacy, and I've heard Mike already. He talked about never scrub on a fork. I still use expressions, never scrub on a forecast. Shame to take the flying pay. A black cat urinating on velvet. For the ladies, that's a smooth landing. But Ernie could be irritating. He had an irritating habit of setting a power setting at the start of the downwind leg. And then he wouldn't touch those throttles at all. Round finals we would go, and the various flap settings would be made. And eventually we arrived over the threshold. Ernie would reach over, close the throttles, and the proverbial cat urinating on a velvet always resulted. I try to emulate that. I think I hacked it once in my old Nimrod time. Inevitably though, one time Ernie and I were flying, he set the power setting and I thought, oh God, here we go again. He set the power setting and downwind we went, and on finals turn, and everything was going fine. And then about 100, 150 feet, he suddenly reached across and he tweaked the throttle. No more than 0.25%, and I can't even remember whether it was up or down. And he made the usual perfect landing. I didn't say anything. He landed, we taxied round. Off into commas, we taxied in. I reached across and I said, what happened then on the finals? And he looked across and he winked and he said, the wind must have changed.